Hey guys, welcome to another Gauntlet review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the LT Wright Bushcrafter. Here it is right here. This is a 1075 high carbon steel knife. The blade is actually quite thin. It's about a 3/32 blade, I believe. It's got this, it comes this color. I mean, this is a natural, or a force patina, however you want to say it. They've done this to it. Right off the bat, I haven't used it yet, and I'm not going to be doing any, oak one-stick fires. I'm going to let other people do the bow drill set. I'm going to try to, not do the same old tests. So, I haven't used it yet. I plan on running it through its paces. 1075, my understanding is it's a bit softer than 1095. I've had a 1075 knife, the Condor Bush Lore. I did notice that it didn't hold an edge quite as well as my other knives. But, it was only like I don't even know how much it was, but it was about half what a, 01 or 1095 knife is. This one, I think, goes for about 75 bucks without the sheath. If you want the sheath, this is what they send you. It's not a bad sheath at all. Nice dangler sheath. The ferrule rod doesn't come with it, that's mine. Fits in there, Alright, so let's give this a try. It's got a nice sharp spine on it. I've messed around with it. It does shave hair for sure. I'm running out of hair to shave, guys. Oh, there's some on my knuckle that's able to shave. Alright, let's go to town on this sucker. Okay, well, as you've seen, I've already used this knife pretty hard. I've made most of a bow drill set with it. I did most of an oak one-stick fire with it. So I cut down that little sapling. And now what I want to do is I want to make a tri-stick like this. I just came back from the Pathfinder gathering. This is one I made from a dowel. See all the little notches in there, all the different types. I know how this particular wood felt with my Genesis. In other words, I know how easy or how hard it was to do this with a different knife. Now I'm going to use this knife and try to replicate some of these notches. The first one is just this simple V-notch. A lot of push cuts. Seems like it's working okay. Now I'm just going to start removing material. I like the handle on this one, but I will say that having such a thin knife, you don't get the purchase like when I'm putting both thumbs on the back of this knife. You don't have as much material to push on. But I tell you what, that sucker will throw molten lava with your ferrule rod. Jeez, does that thing really go to town. Okay, that notch is just about done. Real easy notch. Hear it slicing that wood. It's doing a pretty good job on it. So there's that notch right next to it. Alright, now we'll go on to the square notch. This one here. Basically, you're just making a couple of stop cuts, is what I like to call them. Because they stop your cut. And it's not all done at once. In other words, you remove material gradually. Right there I can tell I'm past my stop cut. So now I need to make a little bit more one. Go the other way. So far it's working out pretty good. That's the only complaint I have, is that the material on the back of the knife is so thin that it hurts your thumb a little bit when you're doing cuts like that with it. My hand, it is baking hot out here. I mean, it is so humid. It's like 80 some odd degrees, and I mean, just look at my hands. I mean, I'm just sweating. So the handle is becoming very moist. It's not super slick, it's a tiny bit slick, but I am not in fear of it. My hand slipping off or anything like that. I mean, it's doing okay for sure. Clean that up just a little bit. Okay, that's passable. That'll work. Alright, on to the next one. More of a U-shaped notch. I'll still go with my stop cuts. I got carried away there. I was just checking out how good it was slicing. So I need to be a little more careful. I lost focus for a second. It is a little bit slippery, really forcing in like that, but I mean, like I said, my hand is, I'm just sweating. Okay, I think that's passable. It's good enough. What do we got? Like just a little pretty easy notch, actually. Make my stop cut. Not sure what material this dowel is made out of, but it's semi-hard. If you guys are going to try this, if you've never done this before, I recommend a green branch like I cut. I was going to use that green branch, but then I thought, you know, I know how this performed. I know how hard or easy or whatever this was with my other knife. So I thought that would be a good test. And keep in mind, when I did this with my other knife, I hadn't already made a bow drill fire. I hadn't been slamming on oak with it. It was straight out of the sheath, razor sharp. My thumb is still messed up a little bit. Alright, nothing wrong with that one. Alright, this other one's a little harder. It's going to take me some time. You got to make an X. Just working on the notch. So this will be where I'm doing some editing. I know I said I'd turn the camera off, but I'll just do some editing and speed up the process a little bit. Alright, that's not a bad little notch. That's not a bad little notch right there. Alright, now it's just material reduction. So I just take it and I roll my dowel and my stick. Like that. Made some nice stop cuts. I'm just going to go easy. You can't rush these notches. They take a while. You want to do them right anyway. And there we go. Alright, one more test for it. Actually, two more tests. This is one of them. There we go. Didn't take too long. All right. That way's a lot easier. Alright guys, last test. Well, I had wanted to use a tomato for obvious reasons. Maybe I should clean up the knife first. It's kind of doing a little Okay, as I was saying, I wanted to do a tomato just because you know how sharp a knife needs to be to do a good, nice, ripe tomato. But unfortunately we don't have one, but that's cool. We're going to have hamburgers later. I like onions on my hamburgers, so I might as well process it down with this. It's working pretty good. So seeing how it's an onion, I'm going to try to do some really thin cuts. That's a pretty thin cut right there. A little thicker cut. That's pretty thin right there. When you can see through it, that's kind of thin. So that's not bad. Alright. Process the rest of this onion down. Ooh, that was a hot one. Good. I don't know, it's working pretty good for me. Alright, final thoughts coming up. Okay, final thoughts about the knife. I like the handle. It's pretty comfortable. I wish it was a little bit fatter, but I'm goofy. I like fat handles. But it's definitely, I didn't get any hot spots. I used it for a long time today. I didn't get any hot spots. It was comfortable. It's a little rough, so it was not terribly slippery when I was sweating like crazy. I did have to be, pay attention just to make sure that my hand wouldn't slip off, because like I said, I was sweating like a pig out there. But I mean, it's not slick. It's I like it. I like the handle. I like the little finger groove right there. It throws sparks from a ferro rod like no other spine I've ever seen. Even better than my Genesis. I'm gonna guess that's because it's so thin. I think it's 3/32. It's still enough material that I was able to go through that log. I only did a few sticks off that log, but I mean, I went through a couple of knots and it did just fine. I think for my tastes, it's a tiny bit too thin. Like I was saying, when I had my thumbs on there, and you got to keep in mind my thumbs are pretty, especially this one's still kind of tender, but I would like a little more material on there. I mean, if you can imagine, the spine is very sharp for a purpose, for a good purpose. So if you push on it, you got that sharp spine against your thumb. I would like to see it, excuse me, I'd like to see it a little bit thicker, maybe 1/8 inch, but it definitely did the job. It throws sparks with a flint and steel. I only had to do it just for a little bit, and I didn't edit any of that footage out, so I mean, you saw it. It's still got a decent edge. I don't think it's shaving sharp. Take the watch off and let's check it out. Ugh. It shaved a little bit. Depends on where you go with the blade, depending on where I was using it. I would not consider this shaving sharp. I wouldn't consider it shaving sharp, but I mean, it did shave a couple of hairs, so I mean, it's not like horribly dull. It's hard to test a knife's sharpness when you're all sweaty and wet and everything. My dog's freaking out. So anyway, yeah, it's hard to test a knife's sharpness when you're soaking wet. The more that my hands are starting to dry out, I can feel that grabbiness of that blade. I don't know, with everything I did with it today, I mean, it's holding a pretty good edge for 1075. Man, that's actually not bad. That's close to shaving sharp, real close. Yeah, real close. I don't think it's quite there yet. Alright, let me touch it up and just see how easy it is to touch the steel up. Okay guys, just use that car window a little bit, and then actually I have a very, very fine ceramic stone that I just touched it up on, and it's shaving sharp now. So certainly not any harder than any of my other knives. It's just like any of my other knives. So I mean, it worked pretty good, and it's shaving sharp now. I mean, you can hear it. It's just popping hairs everywhere. So, right back to shaving sharp. I like it. Not bad. I think it's like 75 bucks on their website without the sheath. With the sheath, I think it's 100 and something. Let me get the sheath real quick. I like the sheath. It's a typical LT Wright knife sheath. I like it. I see someone's put some stropping compound on the back, so you can strop it like this and get it even more shaving sharp. Alright guys, hope you like the review. It's a good knife. Take care.